I'm Cody Landels. In less than 4 years, I built and scaled a roofing company from the ground up to over $20 million in annual revenue, and then successfully sold it. Now I'm on a mission to share what I've learned while documenting my journey to scale Reimagine Roofing to $100 million in annual revenue. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to scale a service business or a sales rep ready to sharpen your skills, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. All right, cool. So what I want to go over today is what we've been doing here at Reimagine to help sell additional deals on the retail side. Our business model, we do about 90% of our sales are retail. And what we noticed was a trend over the last really 6 months of consumers becoming even more price conscious. Consumers always want the best price, but we've noticed a huge pickup in the last six months of customers really trying to thinking they want the lowest price possible. And if you kind of look around the country, you can see that this is a phenomenon that's happening across all sectors. The best example I can give is if you look at fast food right now. Every single fast food place has a $5 meal deal or a $7 meal deal, and they're all advertising it like crazy. And the reason is because consumers, if you look at kind of the macroeconomics, people use all of their kind of savings and regular money in 2022 after COVID. 2023, everybody put stuff on credit cards and loans. And now in 2024, a lot of the money has just dried up, and we're seeing, Home Depot has come out and said they're expecting lower sales than normal. McDonald's for the first time in 4 years had sales numbers go down month over month. So there's just a lot of macroeconomic factors out there that indicate, that homeowners and just Americans are running tight on money. And then just from an anecdotal standpoint, we're seeing that, as we present, our normal packages, people are gravitating towards the lower end package. People are being a little bit slower to pay. Anytime we bring up financing, there's a lot more interest in it. So what I want to go over today is how we as a company have kind of taken that data and implemented some new things that has helped us make some additional sales, and not even always selling the lowest package, but at least putting us in the same ballpark. All right. So if you guys look at some of my previous trainings, we do a really big push. Every single homeowner gets a good, better, best. We never call it a good, better, best. We have package names. And I may get into some of those today, or you can watch a previous recording, but I really want to focus in on the thing that we added that has made a huge difference. And that is what we call our bare bones package. All right. So typically we in the past, we would present 3 estimates, a good, better, and best. And so let's say it was shingles. I might say our good package is synthetic underlayment, maybe Oak Ridge from Owens Corning, and everything else standard. And then the next package up there might be peel and stick underlayment, and instead of Oak Ridge, we did duration. And then the best might be designer or presidential. So something along those lines. And our good was still always a good. It was still a pretty solid roofing system, and we didn't really have that that Bob's Roofing where they're using just the absolute bare bones, cheapest way possible to put a roof on. So now what we've implemented is a 4th option. And so now we always present our better, our best, our good, our best, our better, and good, and then our bare bones. All right. And one of the other things that I've taught in our trainings before is we always start with the top end package. A lot of people, what they do is they go good, better, best. We always go best, better, good. The biggest reason for that is the phenomenon called, price anchoring or price conditioning. And it allows us to go places, meaning that if I show you my best quote and it's $25,000 and you say, oh man, that's way too expensive. Hey, yeah, I definitely understand it's a big investment. This is our top of the line package. But what makes you say it's too expensive? Oh, well, I got another quote for $19,000. Okay. So now you know what we're looking at. It allows us to have a conversation versus if I come out with my good quote, my cheapest one first, and it's $20,000, and you say, oh wow, that's too expensive. Okay, I definitely understand it's a big investment. Why are you saying that? Oh, because I have a quote for 19. You only have the ability to go down now. You don't have the ability to build value. And the other thing that we like about going with the top package first is that you start taking away things, meaning, so when we present, let's say we're presenting our presidential shingle, it's like, hey, you'd get the, the presidential shingle with the peel and stick underlayment, with the high profile hip and ridge, all this stuff, vented ridge. It's all awesome. Okay, great. That's 25,000. All right. Our next package, everything stays the same, still a complete tear off, still same scope of work, but now we're going to downgrade, or now we're going to take away, we're going to go from the presidential to just the duration. Okay. So we're downgrading, from this to this. Still a great system, still a great, and we build value there. And then as we go from better to good, it's like, hey, everything stays the same scope of work, still complete tear off. Now we're just going from duration down to Oak Ridge. And that takes your wind warranty from 160 to 130. That takes your workmanship warranty, from 10 years to 5 years. Whatever, your packages are, whatever your takeaways are, we're taking things away. And humans in general don't like things taken away from them. So usually what happens when we do this is then they go, well, I really like everything in that peace of mind package, but I like the price of the essentials. And so then we can kind of, work around and figure out where we want to land. And so the reason we added the bare bones estimate in there is so now very rarely do we have somebody that, is going to have a cheaper roof than us. We tell them, hey, this bare bones is only if you're looking to, sell your home in 3 months. If you're just putting a roof on to put a roof on, here's the option for you. Now, if you want any, if you're going to live in this home longer than 3 months, if you want a return on your investment, if you want to be able to have a nice warranty, because our bare bones is a 2-year workmanship warranty. We're using felt, we're using whatever shingles are cheapest at the time. We call the supply house, IKO, Cambridge, whatever it is, like, it's going to be the cheapest of the cheapest. But it's all designed just to have a price floor and just say, hey, look, I can do a roof for 17,000 as well, but here's what you get. Versus Bob's Roofing is just going to give you this. It's just going to say shingle replacement, 17,000. So now we at least have apples to apples, and it opens up the conversation for them to talk to you about price, because a lot of times we found is there's a lot of pride involved. And for us, we present ourselves as a top-notch company. And so a lot of times before we added the bare bones package, when we did review calls after they went with another roofer, they were telling us, hey, I really wanted to go with you guys, but I just didn't feel comfortable asking for a discount because you guys are obviously a really, highly rated roofing company. I just didn't even think like you guys would, I didn't want to insult you basically. And so that's why we throw in the bare bones, because now let's say my packages look something like this. I got a 25K presidential, maybe like a 21K, duration plus peel and stick, maybe a 19K synthetic, and then like a 16K, or 16.5K, just complete bare bones, felt, whatever ways we can cut cost on it is what we're going to do there. And they say, I'd really like to go with you guys, but I have another quote for 18,000. But I don't like the bare bones. Well, now they're going to be much more comfortable to share their quotes. And now we can compare and say, okay, look, this is what they're doing. They actually gave you a bare bones for 18K. Like, I can't get all the way down to 18K with this, but it allows us to have a conversation now. And by having that bare bones in there, it really helps them feel comfortable talking to you about maybe getting your good package down to 17.5 or getting your peace of mind package down to 19 or whatever it is. But it gives you a top price anchor with your best, and then a price floor with that bare bones. All right. It is a metal roof, but it is, something you put on a barn to show them that, hey, metal roofing can be 700 a square and it can be 1,700 a square. It just opens up them to feeling really comfortable. Yes, the bare bones. And just makes them feel comfortable talking about pricing, because then they never, if they're sitting on a quote for 17 and your lowest is 19, they just might not even bring it up to you. They might just go with the 17,000 and they're getting, a bare bones package. They didn't even realize it, but they're too prideful, or they don't want to insult you or whatever it is. And so they just don't feel comfortable having that conversation with you. All right. So final thing I'll just talk about is just on the financing side of things. Really encourage you guys to just do a quick Google search. Local credit unions near me, whether they're local or state. I mean, we right now have a 20-year 649 that they're actually about to drop to 599. 20-year 649 for solar and roofs with no dealer fee. Which is absolutely crazy. Like, that's crazy. It's just it's like 2% better than everybody else. Now, the only drawback is they literally only finance in the Phoenix Valley area. So even like my jobs in Tucson, I can't use it for. But it's because they're a local credit union and they have a directive of, spending whatever $10 million in the local community on sustainable projects. It's part of their charter. It's part of their, whatever. It's, their requirements from the board or however they're, structured. So like, they're like, hey, we got $10 million. We need to put it into something. Like, let's do solar and home improvement loans. So I strongly encourage everybody just to do a quick Google search, your city name, local credit union, and then go state as well. And just spend, an hour or two sending out some emails or doing a couple calls and just saying, hey, do you guys, or poking around their websites. Most of them have them on their website now of, hey, do you guys do, solar loans? Do you guys do home improvement loans? Because a lot of times they'll do both. Pay me 50% down. I'll do the work. Pay me the other 50%. It's just a cash deal. I would prefer to get paid by the lender, just to make sure they don't run off. But those credit unions, everyone that I've worked with has required the homeowner to submit the contract as well, because they don't want to give you a home improvement loan as a personal loan, right? Like, they want it, they're not going to give you a 649 so you can go bet $30,000 in Vegas. They want to ensure that it's for, a roof or for solar. So the credit union has a vested interest in that homeowner, using that money for your roof. And two of them have told me that if they don't, it is fraud. I mean, it is a felony. You're applying for a loan saying I'm going to use it for X, and then you don't use it for X. I mean, that's, that's fraud. So I don't have a huge issue if the credit union's willing to release the funds to the homeowner. It's a cash deal now, and I know the homeowner has the money. Cool. Awesome. Well, I hope everybody learned something. Just quick summary. Economy's tightening. Everybody's pocketbooks are tightening. People are looking for deals every single place. And so if you can have the lowest bid option as part of your repertoire, at least puts you in the conversation, and then you can build value from there and make sure you're on an even playing ground. Or at the end of the day, if we got to install a bare bones roof and we, don't make quite as much money on it, but we still get the job. I mean, it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. And if that's what the homeowner wants, let's give the homeowner what they want. We never know what their situation is and, why they're doing that roof replacement. So we don't want to assume. Other than that, talk to everybody later. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.